Are fan bases bad? What I mean by this is, do fan bases ruin things? Like, for instance, do Five Nights at Freddy's fans ruin Five Nights at Freddy's games? Do Harry Potter fans ruin Harry Potter books? Do Lord of the Ring fans ruin Lord of the Ring? That's what I mean. Of course, there are gonna be those infamous fan bases like Five Nights at Freddy's, Minecraft, Undertale, the ones that everyone knows about, but most people would say they don't play these games because they've been ruined by the fans. Is that really true? Are these people so toxic that anything they like makes other people not like it? No, yes, that sounds completely ridiculous and wrong on so many levels that it's kind of funny, but we don't know. This might just be true. Now, to find the answer to this, we're going to have to use our noggins and look deep into fandoms, more specifically on the internet. Now, we're going to only look at the internet here because those are where most of the infamous fan bases are, and there have always been infamous fan bases and people who don't understand things. For instance, one time before the internet was really a thing, a movie called The Blair Witch Project was made, and it fooled everyone into thinking it was real, and everyone actually thought it was real, and when people figured out it wasn't real, some people just straight up said it was bad because it was not real. And yes, that actually did happen, but we don't have really it's not well documented with stuff like that before the internet, at least when the internet was in its infancy, as nowadays with, Five Nights at Freddy's cringe. So let's look deep into the beginning of the internet and, stuff like that. Now, debatably, some of the oldest fan bases on the internet could be Roblox, Slender, maybe. Well, let's look into Roblox, which is one of them I actually know about and kind of care. Roblox didn't get its reputation as being a stupid autistic children's game until modern day. And being honest, no one really plays Roblox anymore. And while, yes, the stupid autistic children probably were part of the fan base before, while it was still really popular, still, those are probably just some people who got the game a bad reputation, and now that it's gone down in meme history, especially when it comes to the memes, when it comes to Roblox, like the Roblox death sound, which has evolved past just a meme and just slang in general. Like when someone gets hurt, they might say oof. And yes, that sounds completely ridiculous and downright idiotic, but it's true. Now that we've looked at fan bases like Roblox, let's get down into some of the more infamous fan bases. Yeah, I got that lamp thing back. Remember that Smash Direct video? Like, you gotta get the microphone, the lamp microphone. What am I? Five Nights at Freddy's. We're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's began off as a very low-key indie horror game until YouTubers like Markiplier and all those other people started doing Let's Plays, and, well, now it got a lot of fans. I said that. This is why you don't do improv, kids. Now, in the months leading up to Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the fan base got a lot of children, and, well, that's understandable. A lot of children would like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie because all the screaming and the swearing. This was before YouTube was really like, oh my god, you say bad word, you don't get no money no more. This was when YouTubers like, okay, don't do bad things because we will kill you if you do bad things, but that's okay. Well, whatever. And kids liked the Five Nights at Freddy's Let's Plays, and soon Five Nights at Freddy's had built up a very large following. And when Five Nights at Freddy's 2 came in, that's when the fan base was probably at its worst, since that was near the beginning. Fan bases usually don't get bad at near the beginning of its existence, but hey, Five Nights at Freddy's has always been different. And soon, this was the golden age of Five Nights at Freddy's cringe. All the children's and all the hype was still being built up with Five Nights at Freddy's 3 was coming out. But then, that's kind of when it started going down. By a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. After Five Nights at Freddy's 3, Five Nights at FNAF 4. Still, don't do improv. And, well, the cringe levels started going down. Stopped. It started going down because all of the 9-year-olds are like growing out of it. It was time for them to move on to other fan bases and other things they enjoy. And, well, yes, there were still a lot of those cringy people, but it went down a bit. And, well, all of the cringe had been pretty low-key by the time of Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. And then the great Five Nights at Freddy's drought of 2018 and 2016 and 2017 came when there was literally nothing. No Five Nights at Freddy's games. Just FNAF, this location, and then just a drought of nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's when everyone really stopped. All the fans went away to enjoy new things. And the same kind of happened with Undertale, when after Undertale just died and there was nothing happening, all the fans were like, well, no, this is boring, and then they went to different fan bases. And then it kind of went full circle when Five Nights at Freddy's, it's now not the biggest thing ever, but it's at its peak again. Five Nights at Freddy's 1, and then when Five Nights at Freddy's 6 and Pizzeria Simulator came out, it was kind of a renaissance for everything. Well, the first one was kind of the golden age, and FNAF 6 is now like the renaissance of the fan base. All the autistic 9-year-olds have left, and, well, it's good again. So, Five Nights at Freddy's was only really that bad for around 2 games, or about a couple months before it went low-key. So, Five Nights at Freddy's is going to get a positive, not a toxic. Alright, but what about Undertale? So, yeah, no, Undertale's not either. For Five Nights at Freddy's, we went on rambling for a long time, but the same thing kind of applies with Undertale, as I said earlier. It got to a peak of cringe when then, since nothing was happening, it just kind of died. And while yes, there's a new Undertale game, I can't speak anymore. For maybe years, Undertale died, and again, so yeah, that applies. And the reason why, like, Five Nights at Freddy's or Bendy got to live for so long, and also Hello Neighbor, is because they kept getting new updates, and that's why, debatably, the Five Nights at Freddy's cringe lasted longer than Undertale. Same thing with Bendy and stuff, but we're gonna get a Bendy later. Alright, speaking of Bendy, same thing applies with Bendy. Bendy also went through the kind of same thing, and got Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, literally, almost the same thing, actually. Like, Five Nights at Freddy's and Bendy are actually more similar than you might think, but back on topic. The same story, except without the drought. It's just that Bendy got to a peak of cringe, debatably, and Bendy Chapter 2, when then it kind of died down a bit. The fan base is now more low-key. It's not Five Nights at Freddy's, people, okay? Well, it's not that there was a drought of content or anything, except there was. Bendy didn't really... It's always been, like, a little while between chapters, so people always moved on. So technically there kind of was a drought of content in between every chapter. It didn't last that long. Like, debatably, Chapter 2 to Chapter 3 was long, but, like, longer than it would when it, like, later chapters, like 3 to 4 or 4 to 5. I don't know, maybe 1 to 2 was also pretty long. I don't know, I joined the fan base during Chapter 2, so I wouldn't know about the first chapter. Whatever, the same thing applies, it's just kind of shorter, debatably. And the same thing applies to most other fan bases, like My Little Pony. Now, I might get everything wrong with this point, because I know absolutely nothing about MLP, but, I know a little bit of things. It got popular out of Friendship with Magic, which is the thing that everyone likes about this, I think. Again, I'm not an expert, I'm just talking about what I know, but since I'm pretty sure the show is over, so now it's like, well, we don't got nothing to do, so it's just kind of over. So debatably it's the same with like Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff. Same thing with like Hello Neighbor and all the other games and other things. It's either that it got to a peak of popularity when then it stopped coming out with new content, and then it just stopped. Everyone stopped, and then debatably throughout the rest of everything, it was fine. Because I'm pretty sure they're still making My Little Pony stuff, but like it took a little while. I don't know that much about My Little Pony, but do fan bases actually ruin everything? Well, actually, some fan bases actually are toxic. Here are 2 examples of toxic fan bases: the meme fan base and the Fortnite fan base. Yes, Fortnite, because that's something people are gonna know about in like, I don't know, a year or so. Toxic fan bases actually can make people not want to use these things. For instance, Fortnite and memes. For instance, memes like the dab and fidget spinners and bottle flipping got so mainstream that no one liked it until people stopped caring about them and kind of do these ironically now. Like, dabbing has become just an insult to normie memes, quote unquote, and bottle flipping, I don't know. Same thing, I do these things. Ironically, it's irony. In 2016 and early 2017 maybe, these were really, really bad, okay? But now that they're just dead, they have been revived, and now they're just memes. Dank memes. They're not trends, they're dank memes. they took on a new life, but people stopped dabbing and bottle flipping because the people who might have liked it were turned off by children, okay? Children. I didn't want to say this, but children and/or autistic men living in their mom's basements. They're people who, well, don't know, and I'm talking about younger children, okay, who don't know if this is going to be embarrassing or not. I don't know, they're just people with no shame, I guess, but they just won't know if what they're doing is going to positively affect them and what they're doing or not, or to give, what they're doing a bad reputation. And same goes with the Fortnite fan base, which is going on right now. Everyone, all of these 9-year-olds have been doing Fortnite dances and stuff, and most people haven't been wanting to play the game, because they're out there doing their Fortnite dances, and everyone's like, oh my god, this is the dumbest thing ever. And that's why Fortnite started getting hate, is because they're like, this game is overrated. When something gets really popular, then it doesn't matter if the product is good if it's not as good as what people are making it live up to be. For instance, if you say something is amazing and it has so much hype around it, and then it just turns out to be mediocre at best, people are going to say it's a horrible game. And some people are just going to say it's a bad game, even if it's not deserved, even if they don't think it's that bad. They're just gonna hate it, being like, going in, playing the game, thinking, oh my god, this is bad because I think this is bad. But do the meme fan base, and the Fortnite fan base, and the TikTok fan base, and the Instagram and Snapchat, do those ruin the games and the apps and the communities? Debatably, man, I'm saying debatably a lot. I can't even say the word without thinking, like, I can't even think of it anymore. Debatably is not ruining things. Well, yes, they're making people not want to invest in these projects, like with the meme fan base, with dabs and fidget spinners and junk. People still want to do them because they have come back as memes. Same might go for things like Fortnite. Who knows? After all of garbage surrounding things like Instagram, people might like it, or hell, just might not care anymore, because it might just be overhyped in general, and people just might forget about it because no one talks about Instagram anymore. Like, no one cares. So, debatably, fan bases don't ruin everything. But, what was the point of this video? There's always a moral to everything. There's always something you can learn. Unless it's breathing. Like, I just breathed. I learned a very important moral, or like, same thing goes with like your heart beating. What I'm saying is that there's something to learn from this. Just because there's something bad doesn't mean everything is bad. A lot of people say, yeah, you can't say this fan base is bad. They're just a vocal minority, which, yes, they are, but you can still criticize. Hi, Grandma. 10 out of 10. Like, again, yes, they are a vocal minority, but you can still criticize them for being a vocal minority. What I'm saying is that don't judge a book by its cover. Again, you can always look for bad things, and again, with things that a lot of people say are cringy, they might not actually even be cringy. Seriously, a lot of people say Odd Ones Out fans are cringy or Jaden Animation fans are cringy. I looked up Jaden Animation's cringe. I found absolutely nothing. Nothing cringe. Again, I looked through a lot of the comments on the video. Yes, there were a lot of stupid 9-year-olds. Again, nothing that was really considered cringe. And we all have a different definition of cringe, but a cringe, as most people would say, would be something embarrassing and stupid. And I couldn't find a lot of that. And even if it was cringe, it was very minimal cringe, making a funny joke, just something really dumb or something. What I'm saying is, don't believe something if there's not proof. And also have an opinion, because a lot of people are like, this is cringy, because they heard some guy on the internet say, this is cringy. Have an opinion. And you might be telling me, yeah, but DZ the communist, you do the meme series, so you're a hypocrite. Yes, but the meme series was never, ever to say that these fan bases are cringy. It was always to look at idiotic fan art and commentate and say how stupid it is. And watch episodes of the meme series. I mean, actually watch them. And most of them, I don't make fun of the fan base. I make fun of the people who are making the art, because it's downright idiotic. Again, you can criticize people for making something that's stupid while not making fun of the actual fan base in a whole, which was debatably what I was doing in the meme series. And again, there's always going to be someone who says, you're a hypocrite because you're saying something and then you're making this stuff. And I've been doing this for 20 minutes. Moral of the story is, fan bases don't ruin everything. Have an opinion. And most importantly of all, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need your money.